Good morning, Sonder fam. It is so great to be with you here on a Saturday morning, getting ready to set up our week 51. Can you believe it? Week 51 of the year, rapidly approaching the end of 2024. And it's so nice to be able to spend a little bit of time with you here this morning while you set up your week. So, my name is Maya. And I am coming to you from Aurora, Colorado, which is a suburb of Denver. And the weather's been pretty good the last several days, so it's been kind of nice to get outside. And yeah, Lynn says I was not ready to hear week 51. I know, me either, but it's okay. We'll get through it, right? It's like it time does move so quickly sometimes. So I am getting ready. Oh, Christy, you were at the Gaylord. I also was at the Gaylord for a conference. I wonder if we were both there and we didn't know it, that we were both there together. I should have put something in Sonder Club to see if anybody was gonna be out there. The Gaylord is this huge, ginormous hotel. Yes, Learning Forward, Christy, that's where I was. So we were probably in the same room together and we didn't even know it. Yeah, it's this huge conference center that's like super fun. So um anyway, we are going to kind of get things set up here for week 51. Is it anyone's first time coming to a social, brand new to Silk and Sonder or brand new to maybe a weekly setup? You can just pop in the chat and say, like, I'm new. I don't know if anybody's new or if we just have our faithful folks who have been with us for a long time, which is also lovely. Oh, Carol is new. Welcome, Carol. Stacy is new. Welcome, Stacy. Love to see our new folks. And I will say, probably in January, we're going to get a whole lot of new folks coming as well. So it's lovely to welcome in new friends with us. So, one thing I want to make sure to point out, especially for everybody, is make sure you set your chat to everyone, that little blue box. A lot of times it has a tendency to flip back to the host and panelist. And when it does that, the only people who can see what you write are myself and my fabulous co-host, Jennifer Ogilvie. She is in the chat. She is helping me kind of keep an eye if anybody has any questions or if you have any tech issues or anything like that. She will be there to help you with that. And along those lines, we have some community guidelines. We want to make sure this is a safe and supportive space. So we just ask folks to be kind and courteous to both yourself and others. No promotions or spam in the chat. We respect everyone's privacy, no hate speech or bullying. We limit those repetitive product and accessory questions. It's fine to ask about stickers and markers and those kinds of things, but the best place to do that is in our app, the Sonder Club app. Hopefully you have that downloaded and you're in there, because then folks can post links. The other thing about sometimes links in the chat, sometimes the link doesn't work. It depends on what version of Zoom you have. So just know that sometimes that can be a little glitchy thing with Zoom. Also, the other thing I always recommend to folks is that you're ready to take screenshots, or if you've got your camera, take a picture of the slides or the things that we're doing so you can go back and look at that later. So you can also do that with the chat as well. If you have any of those customer care inquiries, so you changed your mailing address, you change your billing, want to change your subscription, have some issues with things not coming to you on time or whatever, all those questions go to hello@silkandsonder.com. That's our customer service folks. Jennifer and I don't have access to your accounts, so we can't look it up or fix anything, but we are happy to give you that address, hello@silkandsonder.com. Just know that they are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Pacific Coast time. So sometimes it does take a little bit, especially on the weekends, for them to get back to you, but they will get back to you. And then ultimately, just a reminder that these socials are a tool to help elevate your emotional health through the power of community. And boy, do we have a fabulous community of supportive folks here. But ultimately, you're responsible for your own emotions, well-being, and decisions. So if there's ever anything that we're working on that's kind of not your jam, feel free to work on something else, do something else, right? And kind of, you're not stuck working on what we're working on. If the music I'm playing is not your jam, you can mute that. If my voice isn't your jam, you can mute me. We've got the closed captioning going, so you can have that on. Just know that this is your time. You do what you need to do for this time. And that is what is the most important. This is your self-care time. So we are so happy that you've carved out a little bit of time to be with us and to talk about this month's theme of optimism. And it's kind of a fun I think it's been a fun theme, an interesting theme to kind of end the year on this optimistic note, this idea of optimism, and really thinking about what that means to us, right? And then I kind of throw in a little bit of a few quotes that I thought were kind of important, saying things like optimism is not about ignoring the negative, but about choosing to focus on the positive and believing in the potential for a better outcome. I know a lot of times people talk about manifesting things or manifesting good things to have happen. Just so you know, manifesting works both ways, right? And if you are very negative and you're focusing on the negative and you're focusing on the bad and you're focusing on the bad stuff that's happening, that's kind of the stuff that tends to come into your life. So if you focus on the positive, focus on believing in better outcomes, not the toxic positivity, right? Not pretending like everything's fine, but just really thinking like, okay, what's the good in this? What, even if it's a little bit of goodness, what's here and how can it get better? Those are the things that really change our outlook and change how we can feel. And then optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. And then I really like the quote that talks about this is freedom waiting for you on the breezes of the sky. And you ask, what if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? So this is a lot about that what if. What if I fly? What if things do work out okay? What if it's not as big a deal as I'm making of it? So just really kind of thinking about all of these things. And then I popped in a little screenshot from Silk and Sonder's Instagram that talked about this winter is full of growth, good news, unexpected blessings, progress, healing, love, new opportunities, and good energy. And that's what we really hope for you here in this month that is now almost halfway through, but as we go along. So our agenda for this morning is we're going to do the optimism mind map. If you've been with us for a while, you know that these weekly setups are, we spend a little bit of time digging into the theme of the month with what we call a mind map, and we have a different question or prompt for each week. And so we'll do that. We'll do our rosebud thorn activity, which is on page 44. And then we'll work on those weekly setup pages, which are on page 46 and 47. And I always include these two little pictures here because they're very important. They're kind of my touchstones for what I hope folks feel when they come to these socials. First of all, there's room for you here just as you are. There's room for you here to talk about happiness and good things and everything wonderful that's happening. Share those achievements, share those joys, right? And then conversely, we know that life is not always a series of ups, right? There we've got the downs, we've got the bumps. And so if things are not going well, there's illness, there's issues with your job, there's issues with your kiddos, issues with your significant other, right? Things are not going as well. And sometimes this time of year can be tough for folks for a myriad of reasons, especially the fact that oftentimes we have less daylight than what we have in the summer. And so that can be really frustrating. We're here for that too, right? Don't feel like you can't share the bumps. We want to support you. Sometimes just hearing somebody else say, oh, me too, right, is just really, really helpful. Yeah. And illness that kind of happens at this time of year. So again, we are here for you. And then the other thing is the way you feel matters and no emotion you feel is bad or unworthy. So no one can ever tell you how you're supposed to feel. Like, oh, you shouldn't be mad about that. Oh, you shouldn't be sad about that. Oh, you should be happy about this, right? Like, no one can tell you that, right? We feel our feelings are our feelings. And sometimes just sitting with them and letting ourselves process them is really the way to go. So we're here for that too, right? So let's do that optimism mind map. So this is not anything printed in your journal. This is on a blank page in your journal. A lot of people like to use the back page or maybe the first blank front page. And then but it can be anywhere, right? You could also just write it in your weekly setup, like on the scratch pad section. You could write it on a sticky note, kind of whatever works for you. And then we're really thinking about this idea that optimism is a skill that can be cultivated over time. So hopefully you're ready to brighten your perspective. And so this month we're unlocking the power of optimism by considering, oops, let me get my little thing there, connecting with positive people. So you can see we've done 2 weeks, 2 weekends of this. This is our third weekend of it. The first weekend was celebrating small wins. Second weekend was practicing self-compassion. And this week is connecting with positive people. If you haven't done the first two, no worries. You can just hop right in with week 3. You can take a screenshot if you want to work on those other 2 later. But what we really want to think about today is, who are those positive people in your life and how do they influence your mood and outlook? I don't know if you've heard the term social contagion, which sounds really scary. And it can be, right? Because it's that idea of whoever is around you, the mood that's around you, the vibes, the just that kind of overall feeling can really influence how you feel and how you're looking at things, right? So really kind of think about these positive people. How do they influence you? How does that make you feel when you're around them? And then how can you surround yourself with more positive people? So I've got some little tips about connecting with positive people. First of all, cultivating your own positivity, right? If you're a Debbie Downer, then it's going to be, positive people are probably not going to gravitate toward you because they're going to want to find other positive people. And again, I'm not talking about that toxic positivity, pretending Pollyanna, everything's great, right? But that whole like, well, this is really frustrating, but I know it's going to get better, right? This too shall pass. Also seeking out positive environments, being approachable and engaging, being a positive influence, and setting those boundaries, right? And then I have like some down in the bottom with the little numbers, there's things you can do to do this. So like joining clubs or organizations that align with your interest, attending networking meetings and meetups, hopefully for whoever, I can't remember who it was that was at the Learning Forward conference, but that was the little professional development for us in education. And hopefully that attending that event was very positive and very recharging for you. Volunteering for a cause that you're passionate about is one way to really get positive. Getting involved in your local community and connecting with people online who share your values and interests, which is kind of us, right? Folks who come here to Sonder Club, having that connection a lot of times can really be connecting with those positive people and feeling better. And just that reminder, positive people also have negative thoughts. They just don't allow those thoughts to control them. And another mentoring group that I belong to, she talks about shopping at the thought store. And so if I were to go into a store of thoughts and find thoughts, why would I buy these negative thoughts? Why would I buy these junky, crummy thoughts that make me feel really bad? I'm going to buy the beautiful thoughts. I'm going to buy the supportive thoughts. I'm going to take home those really empowering thoughts and those positive thoughts. So really kind of thinking about, hey, I've got this thought. Yes, Lisa, it is Tanya. Right. I'm, why do I have this thought? And I do that to myself all the time when I'm thinking like, ugh, I'm so stupid. Why did I do this? And then I think, why am I buying that thought? Right? Like that's not a good thought. I don't want that thought. I'm going to put that back on the shelf and I'm going to buy I'm not doing so well with this. How can I make this have a better outcome? Right? So I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to play a little music for you. Think about, and this is just you can just kind of free think about who those positive people are, how they can influence you, how you could yourself be the positive person that is connecting with folks. Feel free to share in the chat what you're thinking there, and we'll check back in here in just a few minutes. All right. Thank you so much for sharing in the chat and spending just a few moments thinking about that. I really appreciate some of the thoughts that folks were sharing in the chat. Um, I was going to say there was one, I was just kind of scrolling through here, that the phrase logical optimism, right? This idea someone was talking about, Alana was saying her therapist is logically optimistic and working on trying to focus on my positive thoughts more than negative. And again, it's not that you don't have the negative thoughts. It's not that you don't, kind of get irritated by something or frustrated by something or feel down about something. But it really is kind of taking that thought and being like, okay, well, then how can I change it? How can I, is it the people that are around me? And it is hard sometimes when you have folks that are constantly complaining, right? And constantly kind of feeding into that negative piece. Because I catch myself sometimes, I feel like I'm in a really good mood. And then you find these people who are not, and they just kind of pull down. So it's a little bit hard. And then I know someone else was kind of talking about feeling like they've been accused of being too Pollyanna, right? Which I would never accuse someone of being too positive, right? Try not to do that. And but it's kind of the thing where it's like I think it's just I'd be like, you know what, good, I am, right? I am a positive person, and I'm going to choose to enjoy my life, and I'm going to choose to enjoy the people that are around me, recognizing that I have those bumps, recognizing that I have those issues, but it's what I do with it, and what I manifest is what I'm going to bring in. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of a time to think about those folks, those positive people, how you can be the positive person, how you can bring in those positive people, and then tell them you appreciate that, right? I really appreciate how you kind of put that positive spin on this, or how you help me look at this as a way I can change the outcome, because having that affirmation is something that's so, so very important. So I love that folks are thinking about that. So now that we've kind of dug into that, let's jump over to our rosebud thorn activity. So every week we spend a few moments just kind of reflecting back on what we did, over the last week. And so this is on page 44 of your December journal. And so we think about a thorn as something that's frustrating us, something that maybe is out of our control, out of our sphere of influence, right? Just this irritation, this thing. And for me, the holiday traffic, we drove downtown last night to go see the Nutcracker Ballet, and the traffic was horrible. And I have a manual, have a stick shift. And it was not a lot of fun driving in that traffic. So that definitely was a thorn. But you know what? We got through it. We got down there. We were only about 15 minutes late to dinner. It was fine. The bud is something that we're looking forward to, something that maybe is fun, that's coming up, that's going to make us happy, that's going to make us smile, just giving us that outcome that's out there, that future thing to grab onto. And for me, it's winter break. I work in K-12 education, and so I'm very excited. This is going to be the last week of school, and I'm going to be so happy to have that break. The nice thing is I only have to take like 6 vacation days, and I get like 16 off. So it's just a lovely time to recharge, and I'll get to see you all a lot more because I'll be doing some of the Monday morning socials because I won't be at work. And then our rose is something that went well, something that made us happy, something that made us smile, was like the highlight. It just very proud of. And so for me, I am a knitter, and I knit a lot, and I have tons of things I've made over the years that I didn't necessarily make for a specific person. I just made them. And so I had like 2 huge bins full of hats and scarves and mittens and all this stuff. And so I actually took it into work and put it out on this table in our workroom. And I just invited people to come and pick something that they would like for themselves, or something they would like as gift. There were probably over 200 things. I should have taken a picture of it. And it was so fun to see people just picking these things up and loving them and being like, oh, this is so amazing. Oh my gosh, you made this, right? It was just the best feeling. So if you're a crafty kind of person and you want to feel good, sometimes you can kind of put this stuff out in front of people. Of course, then people say, why don't you sell it? And I was like, oh no, then that would ruin it, right? Like I do not want to try to sell my hobby that makes me happy, right? So it was super fun, and that definitely made me smile. The other thing, I popped a little picture in here care of us at the Nutcracker last night. This is me and my mom and my nephew, who just turned 23. It was his 23rd birthday yesterday, and he's in town visiting us and some friends. And so he went. It was his first ballet, and he was very excited to go and see that. So think about that rose, that bud, that thorn. Give yourself a little time to reflect, and then we'll check back in here in just a few moments. Okay, hopefully that gave you a little bit of time to think about that rosebud thorn. Sometimes I do find myself having to scroll back through my photo roll, my camera roll to remember what I did this week. And then oftentimes it's also amazing. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I did that. I forgot there was this. I forgot there was that. So I love that you're spending just a few moments. And it's so important, I think, for us to take that little bit of time to reflect back on the week so that we can really celebrate our accomplishments, celebrate those small wins, right? Those little things that can make us so happy, and really reflecting on that. Plus, it's also very nice at the end of the month to go back in your journal and look through each week's rosebud and thorn and kind of help give us that overview of what the week was. So thank you all for taking just a few moments and for sharing in your in the chat your rose, your buds, and your thorns. So let's jump into our weekly planner so we can get that all set up and ready. Pages 46 and 47. And remember, these are, I always like to think of Silk and Sonder journals as suggestions, right? Like if you're like, I don't know where to start, I don't know what to do. Here's our ideas. You can always repurpose these things for whatever you need. And I've got some fun examples to show you of things that Sonder family have done with some of the different sections on these pages. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the I want to feel. So really kind of thinking about how you want to feel for this week. I call it my intention, setting my intention for the week, how I want to show up for the world. And I love using this during the cold winter months with the cute little marshmallow guy in the cocoa where he says warm winter wishes, right? I just think that's so fun. And then there's all these fun words, things like serenity, awe, gratitude, optimism, inspiration, humor, love, joy, hope, confidence, pride, curiosity, really that idea of how you want to show up for the week with other folks. And so here's some examples of things that other folks have done. It could be one word, it could be several words. Oh, festive, Lynn, I love that. Festive is a great word. maybe it's a phrase, maybe it's a mantra or an affirmation that you particularly like. Using stickers, putting in a picture, something you want to focus on. Maybe it's a quote. Um, so anything like that. And you can see some people even have like how they want to feel each day. They actually plotted it out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They had some specific words. Oh, cozy, love it. Realigned, progress, content, joy, all of those different pieces that you can think about. So I'll let you think on that for a minute. Feel free to share. Oh, here's a couple more. Feel free to share in the chat how you want to feel for this week, and then we'll check back in here in just a moment. Thank you for sharing your words. I saw lots of, I want to be the CEO of my life. Um, I want to feel cozy. I want to feel, again, optimistic. Joy is a good one. Just love all the different ideas there. And I appreciate folks who said, maybe this last week has been a struggle, or again, maybe this month is going to be a struggle, right? It can be a little stressful, the holiday times, and again, with the lack of sunlight. So hang in there. You've got this, right? We know that it can be tough, but you can do this, right? Carol's saying, I need to remember that I can do this. Absolutely. You absolutely can do this. And sometimes this planning out the week can really help. So then let's look at our goals, right? We're going to look at our goals and maybe set some goals for how we want things we want to get done this week, or things that we want to do. So lots of different ways you can approach this section. You can use your December intentions over on page 9, or maybe your monthly habit tracker on page 11 to help you set up your goals. You might want to focus on that theme of optimism. So maybe something that you do that keeps you optimistic. Maybe you want to create some no goals. Sometimes cutting things out can be beneficial. So maybe you want to say like this week, no alcohol, no doom scrolling on the internet, no more than a certain number of minutes on social media, no excessive spending, no takeout meals. Look back at those previous journals, previous weeks, or in journals, and see if you have any outstanding goals that you haven't accomplished that maybe would work out for you this week. Maybe you want to do some sort of a challenge yourself this week. So maybe you want to have a fitness challenge, or a cleaning challenge, or decluttering, or self-care, or some people like to do different kinds of foods challenges or recipes. So like a soup challenge, because to me in the winter, it's like different kinds of soups or stews or that kind of thing that I could make. Or maybe it's smoothies that you want to do for the week. Maybe it's if you think, goals, not really my jam. I just kind of want to think of something else I can do with this section. Maybe you just want to write down 3 of your favorite quotes. Maybe you want to have podcasts you want to watch, or movies you want to see, ways you can embrace the winter or the holidays, songs of the week, 3 topics you want to know more about. 3 new recipes, having a mini bingo board, some fun activities for the week. So here's some examples of things that folks have done. And I found this really cute ugly sweater charcuterie board, which I think is just super cute. And I thought that was just kind of a fun little picture to share there. So here's some different things that people have had for their goals: celebrating small wins, finding silence to prepare for Advent, expressing love, and creating a serene environment for Christmas. Happy mind, happy body, happy soul. Attend all planned events, breathe, rest when you can, continue the micro cleaning, decluttering efforts, read, and stay cool. Oh, which one's yours, Nicole? Is it the professional one? The one in the middle? Yeah. The continue the micro cleaning and decluttering. How'd that decluttering go for you? I am constantly decluttering, I swear. So these are always kind of fun to set up and think about. Yeah, it is endless. Oops, I didn't mean to go that far. So just think about that. If you want to share in the chat, please feel free to do so. Yeah, decluttering is a never-ending perpetual task, right? So go ahead, work on those. Let us know what you're going to pop in there for that weekly major 3 goals section, and we'll check back in here in just a moment. Okay, did you come up with some goals or something else to put in this section? And if you didn't, and you're like, I still don't really know what I'm doing with this section, no worries. Sometimes it will come to you later. That's the other nice thing with these socials is you get lots of ideas, and then sometimes it pops into your head later. So thank you for spending a few minutes thinking about those goals for the week. And now we're going to look at our to-dos, and I'm actually going to look at our to-dos and our habits and activities together, because I think sometimes those can be interchangeable depending on how you're looking at things. So lots of different examples, ways to work on this. Maybe you want to make it a literal to-do list, right? Like these are all the things I have to do. Maybe you want to break it up into categories like self, home, and work to-dos. Maybe you want to create an Eisenhower matrix that has the do, decide, delegate, and drop. And then or maybe you want to use the Pomodoro technique to do things. I love the Pomodoro technique to get things done when I really want to stay focused. So I pick a task, I set a 25-minute timer, and then I make myself work on just that thing for 25 minutes. And then when time's up, I can take a 5-minute break, and then you can kind of keep doing that. And Jennifer's dropping some links in there for you to do that. And I think it can be so helpful because I'm so easily distracted, y'all. I can I can be distracted by just about anything, but I'm like, I need to get this done. All right, I'm just going to do this thing. I'm not going to open another window. I'm not going to pick up my phone. I'm not going to do any of this. I'm just going to focus on this. Other to-dos, I love the one with the pretty little Christmas balls and lights where it says health, home, and work. And they have those in there for their to-dos, things to focus on for the week. Maybe you want to repurpose it as a ta-da, right? So it's more of things that you, when you do them, you write them down and it's like, ta-da, I got this done. Or maybe you want to make this a to-be list, how you want to be for the week. You want to be kind and calm and purposeful. Maybe you want to think about some self-care things that you have. And so here's a little picture that has, if you have 2 minutes, you can do this, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or even 60 seconds, little self-care things that you can do for yourself there. I also like to pop this in here just to give you some ideas of 8 days to schedule on your calendar for every month. So maybe one of these will work for you as a to-do for this week. Things like a day without social media, a day spent outdoors, brunch with friends, a day for grooming, spa, haircut, massages, something fun, learning something new, decluttering and organizing those spaces, or taking yourself on a date. And then also remember things to remember during the holidays. So again, maybe these are some things you want to pop in there for those to-dos. It's okay to say no. I did have to say no. I had a friend who had suggested that I go out and visit her for the holiday time. And at first I was really excited and I was going to do that. And then I thought, you know what, that's going to stress me out too much to try to travel during the holidays. I don't want to deal with the airport and stuff. So I politely declined. I was like, I would love to do that, but I just not right now, right? I have to say no. So that feeling of not saying no actually was very, very much a relief. So try that. Try to say no to some things. And then those habits and activities, again, this is where they can kind of interchange with the to-dos. So I like this quote about, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. And so really think about this idea of these habits. And I found this really cute one that someone had put in Sonder Club. They try to get jolly every day. So if they do all of those things, they spell out jolly. So it's very cute to see, Monday they only got the J and the L. Tuesday they got the JOL and the Y, but they missed the one of the L's. And then for the Wednesday and Thursday they got them. So this is such a fun idea to have, and just different ideas of things to do, like no fast food, eating 3 actual meals. How often during this time of year do we find ourselves just snacking all the time? Yeah, and I love Maggie saying grad students will do almost anything to procrastinate. I had to add a work mode. So talking about adding work modes to your phone or turning your phone off. And they've actually said that even just having your phone within visual sight is very distracting. So put it in a drawer, right? It can still be there. You don't have to turn it off, but just put it in a drawer. So maybe those are the different kinds of things. Unsubscribing to emails, that helps me save money because then I don't get all their sale emails. And then I also thought I'd pop in a few of these ideas for 12 ways to keep your brain healthy. So these are some things, and Jennifer said she was going to print this off and put it in her husband's coffee cup. Different things to keep your brain healthy, right? So different sleep habits, proper diet, managing stress, all those different kinds of things. And remember, if you're wanting to start something new, start a new habit or start something new, maybe you want to just start with something small and reasonable. So want to do 50 push-ups a day, maybe you start with 5 push-ups a day, even 1 push-up a day, right? This week, I'm going to do 1 push-up every morning for 5 days, right? Something small to really get you into that habit. Want to read more? Start by reading 2 pages every night. Read a page every night, right? Just this small idea of things to do. If you want to meditate for 1 minute each morning, right? And then after that's become a habit, you could increase it to 2 minutes. Or you know what? If 1 minute works for you, you can keep it at 1 minute. Right? So see what you can think of as you add. Here's some other examples of things that people have put on here. Remember, you do not have to fill in every single line. You can have one thing that's going to be your habit and activity. You can also put in stickers. If this section doesn't really work for you, you've got enough in the to-dos, fill that up, and you can take care of it there, right? So again, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to play a little bit of music, and then we'll check back in here in just a few moments. All right. So hopefully you had some ideas for things to put in the to-dos or the habits and activities. And remember, and I noticed some folks kind of talking about like, oh, I'm feeling stressed. I've got to get all this stuff. I'm feeling like I'm falling behind. Even if it's just in like doing this journal, it's like when that happens, as it does to us sometimes, just stop. Just stop. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just keep your eyes closed for just a minute and let yourself just kind of let that in and out, take a few deep breaths, and then come back to it. This journal should never be a source of stress. Absolutely. Right. So I think a lot of times knowing that you can leave some things blank, you can work on things later, totally need to remember to take care of yourself and not add any undue stress. Right. So I'm going to show you the different sections on page 47. I'm going to kind of go through each one of them and let you work on them as you need, because I feel like uh, this page is kind of some people, it's kind of a hit or miss for some people. Sometimes I use it a lot, sometimes I don't use it at all. One of our other facilitators, Katie, she calls it the B side, right? Like the B side of the record. Sometimes you like listening to the B side, sometimes you don't. So again, it's kind of like how you want to use this. And Dawn, I appreciate you had said that you used to get really stressed trying to keep up with the chat and the journal and like all of this stuff during these socials. And some people literally just spend their time in the chat, like sharing and getting ideas and chatting with people, and they just make little notes to the side. And then after it's over, then they play some nice music, and then they just go ahead and fill things out. So you can totally do that as well. Or you can ignore the chat altogether and just focus on the journal. So again, this is totally for you, whatever works for you. Right. That's totally how that works. So meal planner, I think, is one of our most heavily repurposed section that people like to do different things with it. Obviously, you can use it to plan your meals. You can use it for tracking your meals, those kinds of things. But there's a myriad of other things that you can do with it. You can track one good thing each day or your small win. Maybe you want to track some to-dos in this section, or a gratitude log, or a cleaning plan. Nicole, I appreciate that you're like, anyone else get to this point and just realize you're completely out of energy for 2024. Sometimes it's like, you know what? I don't really have a lot of fuel left for this year, so I'm going to do something very small. So this would be a good place to maybe how you're going to rest, how you're going to start working on recharging yourself, right? And all the things you need to do, but you probably don't need to do them right away. We get in that like, I've got to do this right now. It's like, do you? Maybe write those things down, and then you can look at them again in 2025, right? So this would be a good place maybe to just be kind of like your placeholder for things that you want to do or things that you need to do. Your mind, body, health section, again, these are just kind of things that maybe will help your mind or your body. This could also be a place for things you want to do for each day. I like this little quote about, "'Tis the season of letting go of expectations, having fun, making memories, laugh and be merry. Your happiness is up to you," right? So here's some different things. I love the puzzle piece one where someone did like little puzzles, and these are kind of like, I thrive when all the pieces come together, and then they have the little pieces that they put in there. They divided it up into things that they want to feel cozy, and things they need to do. They want to do their chores, right? So kind of dividing things up there. Right. And then I like the observe, 0% absorb, right? Like don't absorb anything, just observe. Unplug for an hour. Have you seen the new trend now, the new social media trend that's we listen, we don't judge. And the people will say some sort of like, they have family ones where they're like, "Remember that time when I said I hadn't seen your sweater? Well, I actually wore it and spilled something on it and stained it," or whatever. And they're like, "We listen, we don't judge." It's very funny. I could never play that game with my family because we're very judgy. Here's some other things that you could put in some of these areas, like how to love yourself. Write yourself a little note about how much you love yourself and how much you are appreciating this time to get some rest. Maybe you want to record some glimmers, things that you want to think about. The shopping list section, we love a good bingo here at Silk and Saunders, so make yourself a little bingo board to cross some things off. It's kind of a fun to kind of gamify. And I love Jenna's popping in the article for why crying is good for us. It really is. Actually, it's a detoxing process for your body. So let yourself let yourself have a good cry. Oftentimes I say I never thought as an adult I would spend so much time crying in my car on the way home. But then I always feel better. But then I'm sure people driving by me think like, what is wrong with that woman? But it's okay, right? Crying is a thing, right? You can cry. Different self-care things you can do, daily rituals that you want to take care of. Ooh, speaking of daily rituals, keep an eye. You probably got some exciting news in your email about new daily rituals coming in 2025, and exciting things are coming. So keep an eye on those daily rituals that we have in the app for you. And then that I am loving section literally is just whatever you're loving for the week. Um, you can fill it out now. You can fill it out in midweek. You can use it for a quote. You can use it for whatever kind of fun thing that you want to have in there. And I did also want to mention, if you haven't had a chance to fill out your currently page, it's on page 39. A lot of folks will ask, like, what am I supposed to do with this page? And literally, it's just a mid-month check-in. So you can just kind of say, I'm loving this, I'm feeling this, I'm enjoying this, anticipating, wishing, reading, watching, planning. It's just kind of a mid-month check-in for you to kind of think about what's going on in your life. So those are kind of those different sections, right? So I'm just going to cycle through these, right? And let you take a look, do what you need to do, get some different ideas, take some screenshots of different things that we've done in these pages, and then we'll check back in and wrap things up here in just a moment. Okay, I know that was a quick time to finish up. Whoops, and the music's going to keep playing. I know that was a quick time to kind of finish up that section, and you don't have to finish, right? Again, think of these socials sometimes as just a jumping off point, a little kickstart to how you want to fill out these sections. You don't have to keep up. Jennifer and I talk about how we could be on these socials all day long, but this is always the fastest hour that goes by so quickly. So I just want to thank you all for spending that time. Sharing those weekly planners in Sonder Club. You saw all those examples that we got were from folks like you sharing in Sonder Club. They are real live examples. So it's so great to be able to see if you're comfortable sharing kind of what is in there. So I'm so glad that you're all here with us sharing all of these pieces. And just a quick mention again, you've probably seen some information from Meha about our personalized life coach. It's very fun. She's still doing different things with that. I know that Jennifer's going to pop some links in there. They will pop some links. She will also give you some links to the YouTube channel. We have over 800. Can you believe it? We have over 800 videos now of our socials. So you can always, if you're ever feeling low, go back and find an old one. Go back and find one of the old fun journaling prompts, right? Not a weekly setup or a monthly setup, although those are fun, but look for the Hygge one, Hyggge. Go and see if you can find that one. That's a super fun one to look at if you need a little bit of time. And also just other little things that we've got a lot of things in the works at Silk and Sonder that we're wanting to do next year. So again, keep an eye out for those daily rituals kind of changing up in 2025. Yeah, the personal coaching is super fun if you're able to do that. The life workbook, we've got lots of sales that are always going on different things, and I'm talking to them about maybe doing some in-person events, at least here in Denver, probably to start. So just so you know, you heard it here first. So thinking of those things, yes, absolutely. So we will be getting some information out about that, still kind of working out some details, but I think it would be super fun. So use some stickers this week. Have some fun with your journal, even if it's just doodling. If you've got, some blank pages, I saw Nicole saying she's got some blank pages, doodle on it, right? Throw some stickers in there. You don't need to fill it up with anything, that you think has to be in there again, right? Do you and feel better. We will hopefully see you all again soon at other socials. I know we have lots of things coming up. And again, I know Jennifer's popping some different links in there. It'll take a little while for this event to be in that link, but and you'll also get an email that will have the link to this specific social when it is ready. So again, thank you all so much for being here. Go listen to some fun music, have some fun holiday cheer this weekend, and we will see you all again very soon.
Name. Don't waste all this energy, cause you got the remedy, and I know your legacy. You've got greatness inside, and you just gotta believe. You think you don't have the tricks, but they're right up your sleeve. These waters are threatening, but you bring the reckoning. So drop all the fear and the questioning. Can I get a Who are you? Who are you? Who are you gonna be? You're gonna make some history. Come on, Moana, go get your destiny. Can I get a you need to level up. Go show 'em, tell them enough's enough. Come on, Moana, go get your destiny. Can I get a, let me hear it, can I get a Here's the deal, that bullying storm god skips leg day for real. Can you imagine the legend this epic voyage reveals? You think that it's doomsday, to me it's just Tuesday. You know what, I'll come to play. And you're clever, I never give you enough credit. And under pressure you measure up, you even taught me a lesson. I'm not surprised, you learn from the best. Takes a whole lot, but count me impressed. Can't give up now, you got me invested. How many humans that I call a bestie? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you gonna be? You're gonna make some history. Come on.